Over the weekend, Aries Spears made headlines after participating in an interview with Art of Dialogue, where he was asked what his thoughts were on Lizzo's music. But Spears responded with comments about her looks and weight. Once the clip was released, everyone would express outrage over Spears' words, but the comedian would double down on his statement, calling Lizzo supporters hypocrites for enabling her behavior. Now, as Spears started to gain backlash for his interview, he would later claim that he was joking. Mike Epps would catch wind of what he had to say about Lizzo and responded to the story via a Shade Room comment saying, he looked dirty and sick and has not been on TV since MadTV. Today, we have our comedy hype analyst, Capone, as well as Pierre calling in, and a very special guest, our in-house research analyst, Danielle Miller, calling to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
Yo, you know somebody that actually made good music, man? Lizzo.
Lizzo? I can't get past the fact that she looks like the shit emoji. Very beautiful girl. She's got a very pretty face, but she keeps showing her body off, nigga. Like, come on, man.
Man, she a good songwriter, though.
Oh, yo, she's dope. Her music hard, her body ain't. Uh-oh, here he come. Who that motherfucker think he is? Be body shaming, fat motherfucker. You know what kills me about women is the hypocrisy and the contradiction. Y'all all claim womanhood and about sisterhood and support for your sister, you know, when it come to that ridiculous shit. But if you really gave a fuck, why wouldn't you go, black girl, we love you, we love your confidence, boo-boo, but this ain't it. This ain't it.
Now, as I mentioned, this will cause a lot of outrage. So I'm going to go ahead and dive right into reactions. Pierre, I'll start with you.
Oh,
what was your reaction when you saw this?
I gotta go first. Whoa!
What was your reaction?
Look, I know Aries. We know what Aries does. Then that's it. That's his lane of, you know, saying stuff that's out of order, you know, and he lives on that hill. He's going down that hill. That's what he's down for it. You know, yeah, was it a joke? To him, it was, you know, sometimes a joke, you know, we're at a time now that certain things can't be really talked about, unfortunately, you know, without being some backlash. You know, back in the days, Eddie Murphy said faggot on the thing he did on Delirious. It was taken. Nowadays, we're not talking about that anymore. Now, the problem I had was it wasn't a question about her weight. It's about her music, you know, and he went with her appearance. I was like, well, okay, where'd that come from? But he said, you know, he can't rock out. So I guess, you know, her appearance is so much that he can't even think about it. Now, he says women should say, hey, baby, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Aries is a homie of me, but come on, Aries. You ain't the slimmest nigga in shape either now. I'm just saying, if maybe people are telling you to do the same thing and you ain't listening. Maybe they telling her to watch what she eats and she not listening because you obviously gaining weight. Are you not listening to what your friends say, or do your friends don't care about you? Are they telling you handsome, you know, yo, keep being funny, but not watch your weight? So you got to be careful about how much you weigh and how your weight is before you push that. And the last thing I say is people are talking about how he looks horrible and all that. They're no better than him when he talked about her. You know, hurt people. You know what I'm saying? So if they're clowning him, his look, well, then the person who's clowning him and his look are no better than him clowning her on her look either. You know what I'm saying? So I must guess we got a lot of people who are down for the death penalty. An eye for an eye, I guess we're saying. So you hurt me, I'm hurting your back. So, and they weren't talking about that person. He went out that way. So I don't know about the people talking about how he looks. It's another way to, you know, to reprimand him or say something about him about his weight and whatever, if you think you're better than him.
Capone, I'll come to you and bring that same question. What's your reaction? Do you think that Spears is out of line for his comments?
I think that he's very out of line. I mean, they was talking about her music, bringing up her weight and all of that was just a unnecessary, supposedly joke that wasn't funny. You know, there's ways of actually warning a person or for putting a person on blast like that. You know, her music is great and she's comfortable enough in her skin where she wants to dress like that, then so be it. You know, everybody can't have Beyonce body or things like that. You know, she's comfortable. Her voice is incredible. And, you know, I just don't think that was a necessary joke to make, in my opinion.
Now, Danielle, thank you so much for joining us today and being able to add a different perspective in on this conversation. I want to come to you for that same thing. What's your reaction? When you heard this clip surface, did you think Spears was out of line for his comments?
I get the comedic aspect of him. He has a very raw sense of humor, but I don't see where it was warranted for him to attack her weight. And especially because I think Lizzo is always under attack, to tell you the truth, in these interviews when it comes to her weight. And I think that's why a lot of the community came to her defense, because it's like, look, yo, Why y'all always talking about her weight? Why y'all always getting on her about her weight? And I think Lizzo, from what I've seen from Lizzo's Instagram, she does have, she eats healthy, she exercises, she shows us this. So it's something that she is working on. But at the same time, Lizzo is a perfect representation of you loving your body at all stages of life. So Aries going in on her weight was like completely out of line. And especially when you said the shit comment, I think that's where it really was nasty.
Right.
And it was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, and a lot of people, as I said, there was a lot of backlash that came with this. And here's one comment, as well as I want to go into another as well, but I'll start with this one that says, women have let men like this get way too comfortable because we are too nice. This man sat here and told 4 wild lies about himself while dogging out Lizzo. First, he says, I ain't the most in shape, soft lie. I'm funny, hard lie. With swag, ball face. I'm at least handsome, OD, cat. You know, and also Mike Epps would respond to the same thing. And I know I mentioned it earlier, but he says he looked dirty and sick and has not been on TV since MadTV. So Pierre, I want to come to you with this. You know, given that Aries claims that this was a joke, you know, do you think Mike Epps was wrong for not coming to his defense?
No, I mean, you know, we have our right to, you know, freedom of speech and say what we want to. You know, Mike Epps felt to say what he said. You know, I'm a comedian, so I'm kind of, you know, I don't want people to take away my freedom of speech. Now, you can have freedom of speech, but you got to take, you know, the responsibility of what the backlash that may come to it. But to stop somebody from saying that, and body shaming, that's not my thing. But we've been body shaming people for a long time. We talked about Nancy Reagan being skinny with a big old head, looking like a stop sign or a lollipop. You know, we've done that. It was funny. He. You know, it's just now that it's a black woman, you see black people are coming more to her defense than anybody else. And I get it. I understand it. The woman is big and she likes to flaunt it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's, you know, there's people who like that kind of women like that. Some people don't like people. Some guys like skinny women. So, but I have no problem with her flaunting what she does. But if you put yourself out in the public as wild and crazy as she is, you're gonna receive something. Okay, it's just what it is. You're gonna receive something, and you know, some people are not gonna like it, and they have the right to express themselves, and they have obviously in the comments.
Capone, I'll come to you just like you all. You know, a lot of people had a lot to say about this, including Mike Epps. But what do you think? Do you think Mike Epps was out of line for not coming to the defense of Spears, being that he says it was all just a joke?
No, I don't think. I think he had his opinion. Pierre said something that was very profound. You know, if you're talking about him, you just as bad as him talking about her. I just think that certain things just should have been left alone. Even, you know, Mike Epps coming at Aries sounds a little personal to me. And with that being said, it's just the point of making sure that your conscience of somebody hurting somebody doesn't mean that you have to hurt somebody else. And I think that that's the case, you know, throwing that Aries Spears ain't been on TV in a while, that's the same thing. You know, what him not being on TV in a while has to do with him being dirty or looking dirty or whatever he said.
a lot of back and forth. Danielle, let me bring you in on this. You know, a lot of people think, you know, because I'm a comedian, I say something funny. As other comedians, you should have my back. What do you think? Do you think that Mike Epps was out of line for not stepping up and, you know, defending Spears, being that Spears said it was all just a joke?
I think, again, Mike has his opinion, and I think he could voice his opinion the same way Aries voiced his opinion. But the thing is, was it put in the correct context, or did you use the correct wording? I don't think Mike did. I agree with the two gentlemen. I don't think if you're trying to come to somebody's defense about somebody giving them flack and shaming them, you shouldn't turn around and do the same thing. And I do think it wasn't out of line for Mike defending Lizzo. I think it's how he did it. And the reason why I feel happy that, you know, persons are coming to the defense of Lizzo is because I think it goes back to what Pierre and Capone was saying. We do this a lot of bashing each other out in the internet and public, and to see somebody come to her defense, even though it was still in a harsh way, particularly from a comedian, for me, it was like, okay, you have people in the industry that are standing behind her and are not taking Aries' cruel humor and making him feel like it's okay. Because again, the main word for me for Aries was the shit comment. That was terrible. The whole thing for me was just completely sickening on Aries' behalf. And I do think it's warranted for Mike to say something because it's his platform. He can have his opinion. But again,
absolutely. Absolutely. Now, of course, it wouldn't be in Spears' spirit, if you will, to respond. And not only did he respond to Mike Epps, but he also responded to other people. I want to read what he said back to Mike Epps and then go right into how he responded to people. So Aries Spears said, yeah, but people don't walk out on my shows. Might want to turn down the volume on the shiny suits and jewelry and step your funny up. You know, get a little dirt on you, pimp. P.S. I'm not trying to start it, but I ain't going to run from it either. And the only reason why I ain't tag him is because he has me blocked. And let me be more clear. Yes, there have been folks that walked out of my shows, but that's because not everyone can handle yayo. That's not been stepped on. And then, of course, he goes on to put out a link for his podcast. But I want to dive right into the video where he responds to the backlash. So let's take a look.
Yo, what up? It's your boy, Aries Spears. I had to put the Yankee on for this one. Listen, I know I'm trending right now because of the Lizzo joke. And I just want to say, man, a lot of you women are funny, you know, with the critiques. I ain't funny. I'm fat, unattractive. No woman wants me. They always try to hurt you with what works for you the most. That's what they try to hurt. That's like you break up and you go, that's why you got a little wee-wee and you can't screw. I'm 32 years in this game and I ain't funny. I'm 32 years in this game and I ain't never got no meow. That's hilarious. Y'all don't deal in logic and sense. You deal in emotion and anger. Come with something that's not subjective. Me being unfunny, unattractive, that's not a fact. That's subjective. Stop leading with emotion and anger and come with facts. But to all the women who keep saying I'm unattractive and I'm not sexy in my swagger, I'm not cute, I'm ugly, don't y'all wear makeup? Don't y'all wear push-up bras? Don't y'all wear fake eyelashes? Don't y'all wear fake fingernails, wigs and weaves and extensions? But I'm hiding behind something.
Now, I want to dive into reaction. There's a couple things I want to unpack here, but Pierre, I'm going to kick it off to you. What was your reaction to his response?
He's the best. He's the best, man. He know how to pull the strings on everybody, and we tap dancing to it. He said, we're being a marionette puppet. And at the end, to say any woman out there did broadcast, he's available for some meow and roof and rap and shit. So, you know, this is what we call a shit show. It is what it is. We all jumping into the thing, and you know, I mean, it's in par what I said already. You know, so
absolutely.
You know, Aries doing what Aries does. Okay, so let's not be surprised. This ain't the first time.
Absolutely. And before I move on, let me go and add this question in because I feel, like I said, I think there's a lot to unpack in some of these reactions, maybe the same from earlier. Pierre, let me ask you, do you think there's a double standard when it comes to the appearance of men and women? Or, you know, do you feel that women have a little bit more pressure, whether it's from the outside or from themselves, when it comes to looking good?
Of course it is. It's a double, let me tell you, it's a double standard. But let's not act like we didn't know this, like it's new to the game. Men have always been visual. Women have been more mental. Women, the double standard is a man better not be broke in a relationship with a woman. Okay, he better come with his money. So women expect men to have their money together, and we expect you to have your look together. So we pick at the look, you look at the pocketbook. Okay, that's how it goes. We go for the look, you go for the pocketbook. Okay, the money. So it's a double standard, a lot of stuff. So yeah, it is. Sure, it's a double standard. Yes, you know. So, but we knew that. It's not nothing new. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Danielle, let me bring you in from a woman's perspective. One, of course, I want to get your reaction to his response, but also, do you think there's a double standard when it comes to the appearance? You know, here you have Aries Spears, who, you know, a lot of people feel like, you know, your appearance isn't that great, but yet he feels, you know, motivated enough to respond to Lizzo and or say things about Lizzo's appearance. So I want to ask you, do you think there's a double standard or more pressure on women than it is to men?
Okay, so what gets me is that men can step out looking as unput together as they would wish. But we choose to always target the woman that is unput together, especially, let's face it, women have a lot that they go through sometimes. You know, they have the kids, they have the cleaning of the house, so there's a lot on them. But the minute that woman steps out unput together, there's a target on her back. But the minute a man does it, it's just like, oh, that's a man. That's how he is. He just had an off day. But here's another flip side to the thing. When we body shame a woman, all hell breaks loose. But when we do it to a man, it's just like everybody overlooks it. So that's the two double standards that we have in terms of appearance when it comes to men and women. where when we body shame a woman, it's a problem. But if it's done to a man, we don't see the issue with that. And when it comes to the reaction for me, for Aries, I was reminded of what Capone said earlier when he said it sounded like Mike has a personal issue with Aries. Hearing that Aries said that Mike has him blocked, it made me go back to that. So does Mike do have a personal issue with Aries? And is this Mike really defending Lizzo or just getting his revenge or anger out on him?
Damn, girl, you good. Shit, I don't know where you from, girl, but you good. Damn.
Great point, and I appreciate you giving different perspectives and adding that in. Capone, let me bring you in, Capone. Of course, I want to get your reaction to what Aries Spears had to say, but now we're on this conversation of double standard. Do you think there's a double standard when it comes to the appearance of a man compared to a woman?
Of course, there's a double standard. Everything that both of them said is held to be true, and especially how men go for looks, and women really don't care for looks too much. If you got money or, they say it ain't like that, but it's definitely like that. I really love Aries Spears as a comedian, but I think that there's a lot going on with him emotionally, that he's so uncomfortable within himself that he looks to target other people to take shameless stuff off of himself. He's not a healthy dude. He's not a slim dude. He's fat, and he has probably physical problems within himself. And you can tell that him and Mike has something really personal going on by people are not walking out my show. But then he contradicted himself and said, well, people do walk out of my show when they can't get the yayo, which means raw. Right. And, some people can't take the raw. Comedy, certain comedians are not for everybody, and I really think that Aries is a very, very talented brother. But at the same time, you have to face your own issues and stop trying to pinpoint them at everybody else.
Real quick, Capone, here's something you got to be careful what you just said, because I love what you said, but here's the thing. You said that he's out of shape, so he's not healthy. You know what I'm saying? You kind of said, so that means we got to say Lizzo is not healthy. But women will tell you, oh, she's healthy, even though she's big. So Aries Spears could be healthy, very healthy, even though he's big. So is big being unhealthy or healthy? If it is, then we got to go across the board. Anybody big is unhealthy. Right. You know what I'm saying? Would you say Lizzo is unhealthy?
Right.
Would you say Lizzo's unhealthy?
You're right about that. But at a point there is, and Aries even said it, these certain diseases or certain problems target bigger people.
Okay.
When you don't eat right and you have cholesterol, you have heart problems, they don't always go on slimmer people, but they do have a bigger chance for big people. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah, and I think you guys actually bring up a good point here, because that was a part of what Spears had to say. He said there are a lot of women that are hypocrites because they're saying, let's go, Lizzo. We love you. Nobody shaming. But he feels that, that those women are hypocrites for not holding Lizzo accountable. So Danielle, I'll come to you first, because I know it looks like you wanted to add to that. Hearing what Spears had to say, do you think women are hypocrites for not holding Lizzo accountable when it comes to her weight, when they say that they want to empower her, according to Spears?
I want to be very careful how I craft this, so I don't get rocks thrown at me. But let me use an example. Monique is a good example of back in the early 2000s. Monique was she was a bit heavier than she is right now, and she always embraced it and she encouraged it. Big girls, love yourself. But she didn't say to stay big. I remember when Monique started losing some weight, persons were coming after her and telling her, well, you told us to love ourselves and you're out here losing weight. But it was just what I said earlier. They're symbolic of loving yourself throughout the process. I think these women know that they have to shed some pounds and they have to lose some weight, but at the same time, they're loving their bodies as well. So it's a difference between knowing that I'm unhealthy and not wanting to do anything about it, than knowing that I'm not in the best shape and I'm trying to do something about it. But while I'm doing it, I'm also loving myself as well. So are women hypocrites when it comes to, we're not calling it out? we don't want to make another woman feel uncomfortable all of the time, because we know, again, men are visual creatures. We know exactly how that can hurt somebody's self-esteem. So yeah, we know that, you know, she's overweight, but we don't want to always call that out. We don't want to always say it. She knows it. And she's doing things to help herself get in shape, as well as other women as well. So I think it's more so of not calling it out and saying that embrace yourself through all stages of your journey.
Absolutely. Pierre, let me bring you in on that. What are your thoughts? Do you feel, you know, according to Spears, that women are hypocrites, you know, for not holding Lizzo accountable when it comes to her weight?
I probably must got to ditto what the young lady just said. She's absolutely right. I mean, yeah, you know, who are we to say she needs to lose weight? Who's the next person to say she need to lose weight? That's her body. That's her journey. You know, maybe she's all right with it. Maybe she's not. Maybe she, like she said, she's dealing with it in her own way. Us piling on, you know, every time is a bit much. Yeah, does she show her body, you know, try to flaunt it and put it out in our face? Like, look at this, look at all this. Well, she's putting it in our face. She's not being quiet and subtle about it. So she's putting it in our face and we're going to react to it. So that's just natural, you know, if you know, it's just what it is. If you put that out in our face all the time, people are going to react to it. And it might not be favorable all the time. But I think, like she said, you know, it's a journey. And if, you know, she might be trying to lose weight, let's say she is losing weight, you know, let's embrace that. Let's say she's trying to work it. Let's give her props for that instead of trying to pile on all the time and just talk about how big she is and she's only big and stuff like that, because it's hurting somebody. No different than calling Aries Spears names, you know, raccoon face and fat boy and all this guy. Ain't no good shit. You know what I'm saying? He ain't happy about that, you know, so let's cease on it, I guess. But I'm a comedian, so it is what it is. I say, comics, do what you do. Just understand you got to deal with the repercussions. That's all I'm gonna say with that. Like I do in the comment section. I love it.
Yes, you do. Come on, let me come to you and close out with you with that same question. You know, Spears says that women are hypocrites for not holding Lizzo accountable, you know, and saying that they're empowering her. What are your thoughts? Do you think that women are hypocrites for not holding her accountable?
No, I don't think that they're hypocrites. She's very, very comfortable in her skin. And if she's comfortable in her skin and however they're embracing her, go girl, you big mama, or whatever the situation is, if Lizzo comes up and says, I want to lose weight and I need some help, then that's a different story. She never said that. She never even comments on her weight. I'm a big girl list, like the young lady said with Monique. Monique used to tell big girls all the time, be big, love yourself, and do all of this. And okay, you my big babies and all of that. So Lizzo's never came to that. And until she comes to that and she's comfortable, let's keep embracing what she's comfortable with.
Absolutely. And like you all said, you know, there was a question about her music, not even about her appearance. And Lizzo is a great artist. So a big shout out to Lizzo during this time and just sending a lot of love and support. But before we head out, I appreciate y'all for chiming in on this. I want to know what you have coming up and how people can keep, you know, in contact with you and follow you. Danielle, I'm going to start with you since you're our special guest today. Let us know what you have coming up and how can people follow you.
Thank you for allowing me to be a special. I like the word special. So you can find me on social media, Instagram, DEEA Miller, on all the social media platforms as well. You can also check out my YouTube channel. It's Danielle, DENIELLE. You can check out the content that I have there where we basically speak about issues with women deal with, but we don't normally talk about. They're sort of taboo issues. To continue on with the conversation, and that's just about me.
Absolutely, and we appreciate you being here so much. Thank you, Danielle. Pierre, let me come to you. What do you have coming up, and how can people follow you?
I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida this Saturday, which is I think September 3rd. So check me out. It's not at the Comic Club; it's another venue. So if you're in Jacksonville, holla at your boy. I'm be there this Saturday. And just watch my podcast. We're doing some dope shows. We got a new episode coming today. It's Pierre's Panic Room on YouTube. I appreciate the support so much, man. You know, the love I received from there and from this show, Comedy Hype News. So that's where I'll be coming up this Saturday.
Capone, last but not least, let us know what you have coming up and how can people follow you.
I wanted to ask Danielle, is she in the Bahamas now?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry we don't have the tropical background. We have.
No, it's all right. I'll be out there in October with Nelson. Yeah, with Nelson, the promoter Nelson. I forgot his promotion name, but he brings me out there. I haven't been out there since the COVID, but I usually come out there once a month and perform with him. So we're going to start that back, and I'll be out there in October. Shout out to Nelson for bringing great comedy out to the Bahamas.
Yes, definitely. And we have to link up.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Awesome. And Capone, how can people follow you?
Hit me on Instagram, Comedian Capone. If you can't spell comedian, please don't follow me.
Pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward. I love it. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. But before we head out, I do want to play one more clip because, of course, Lizzo had to, a subliminal response in the most beautiful way. So let's take a look at that clip before we head out.
And now, to the bitches that got something to say about me in the press. You know what? I'm not gonna say nothing. They be like, Lizzo, why don't you clap back? Why don't you clap back? Cause bitch, I'm winning, ho.
I think that's a perfect way to close out the show. I think
Really?
she did it so classy.
That's a non-clap back, clap back. I like that, bro. A non-clap back, clap back.
Well, you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about Mike Epps calling out Aries Spears over his Lizzo comments? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.